Hey guys, it's Bible Girl. It's April 14th, 2011, 14th day of VEDA. It's interesting to think about the things that captured your imagination and mind as a child. It's even more interesting when those things stick. In 3rd grade, my class was reading a book by Dr. Robert Ballard. It's actually this book. Got a hold of it. You can tell it's about the Titanic. And I probably didn't realize that one little book in Mrs. Walnut's class would completely alter at least parts of my life. The Titanic grabbed my attention as a little 3rd grade girl. And I started reading anything I could see. Anytime there was a documentary on it, I would watch it. I even have a book in my room where I started taking notes in high school off the documentaries just so I could find some excuse to use it in a paper. But even when I was very young, I recognized that the events that happened to the Titanic in 1912 were not pleasant and were terribly, terribly sad. 99 years ago today is the date that the Titanic last saw sunlight. The day it hit an iceberg, and the day it began to sink. It finished sinking around 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time on April 15th, 1912. And it's always been something that on the 14th or the 15th I spend time thinking about. I specifically have decided that if it's something that gives me such interest and sparks my curiosity in a way that I enjoy learning about it, that I need to recognize these deaths and this pain, even if it was almost a century ago. I need to honor these people if I have a drawn effect to a disaster. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what we can learn from it. Every year, since high school I think, I've gone on whatever social media site I'm using, MySpace, Facebook, and wrote a blog or a note talking about the Titanic and my thoughts. But since it's beta, I'm going to share them with you guys this year. And probably post this on my Facebook. This is something I've thought about in years before, but I've never shared it with the YouTube people, so. What makes part of the Titanic story so compelling is that it has the whole world in it. There's the richest people in the entire world on this ship. There are middle-class people, and there are people who are so poor that their entire life savings is what got them on the boat. They're never going back. This is it. So we see life in kind of its rawest form almost on this ship. And we see how humanity has prized different aspects. The people with the money had the chance to get away. I want to say only one child in first class died, and a few women. The rest of them made it out. Men died. But they were doing the chivalrous thing and letting women go ahead. But more men lived in first class than any other class, mind you. In 3rd class, people were barred from coming in, from getting out getting out and trying to save their lives. Some third class people did, for sure, but it was like a massacre, almost, when you think about how they were locked behind gates. And historians, there's a little battle between the idea. If you've seen the 1997 movie or even some other movies, you'll notice that they have them being locked behind and not being able to come out. Now, these gates were always there, pretty much, to block third class from entering the other classes. However, there's definitely historical reference and interviews from some women in third class that talk about how people were being trapped down there by people that worked on the ship. Now, most of the people that in the historical record disagree are from either the first class or were employees of the White Star Line, and let's be honest, you're not going to make it sound like you caused the death of women and children because you wouldn't let them have a chance to escape, maybe survive in the water if they couldn't get in the lifeboat and get taken onto the Carpathia and be okay. And it looks like such a stark contrast because it's the early 1900s. And the 20th century was beginning to change an entire view of how people have value. And it grew and grew and grew. And in a few years, women got the right to vote in the United States. And it just kept growing and growing, and desegregation was happening. And people were understanding that we're all of value, I think, a bit more, but I think money still talks an awful lot, and these people died without money. I mean, don't get me wrong, 1,500 people died. And it would probably still be pretty close to the number of third class people hadn't gone out, but they didn't even have a chance. Trapped. And I go with the third class opinion from the records, because they were actually more spot on about a lot of things, like the ship breaking in half and things like that. In today's world, we still look down on the poor and those with nothing. A few years ago, I had this awesome opportunity through my school called Sack Lunch Ministry, and I would go out with a group of college students, and we'd make lunch, and we'd bring it, and we'd hang out with the homeless. We'd feed them and talk for a while, and I mean, I always felt like the homeless were people and of value, but I think subconsciously I had a bit of disdain, or, well, you got yourself there, or this and that, and sitting down and talking with these people, getting to know them, knowing some terribly sad, horrific stories about how they got to that place, completely altered that. I don't look at a homeless person the same anymore. So today, 99 years after the death of these people, I say we honor their lives by respecting the poor and the downtrodden, by going out into the world and making it so somebody doesn't die just because they don't have money, by giving them a chance to live. The people in third class didn't get a chance. Donate money to Japan and help the people that are homeless right now. Money to Haiti. Go out and give somebody a lunch on the side of the road. Talk to a person, because honestly, just treating a person like a person and not like trash on the side of the road can completely alter their day and their life. And you might not recognize it, but maybe you're stopping someone from going into alcoholic abuse by just showing love, because they've got nothing left and something to dull the pain helps. It's been 99 years since that day, and there's a lot we can learn. don't think we should repeat the mistakes of the past. I love you all. God bless. And I will see you tomorrow.